Everybody, so we just finished up out front. I had to make some changes to the stream here, so we're just getting to work here in the greenhouse. Got a few things we got to take care of today, which is good. So these are good problems to have. Which is, so I had to repot a couple yesterday. I just had to repot my tomatoes here. Cucumbers, they're starting to get their acts together, so I need to see. They're more than likely going to need to be repotted soon. They're filling up this thing, which is going to restrict their growth, which means I need to get more potting soil. So that's going to slow me down today. So I've got my petunias. Everybody needs a good watering. Everybody's got some water in them, but they were in here today around 90 degrees while we were down in Grand Rapids. But I'm going to get my all of my dwarf sunflowers planted outside today. That is on the list. We're going to take care of that. That won't take too long. I'm going to put them on the side of the house here. So we're going to kind of set up for that. I think that'll look pretty nice. I just got to get my knee pads here. But I have an idea, as always. Oh, wait, no, where'd those go? Yeah, that's different. Oh, there they are. Sorry about that. I was saying I have an idea for my next long form video, which I think will be enjoyable. I've got to work on getting my come on, Ryan, use your words today. Man, I cannot talk. Blah, 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 blah. Now, for my compost pot, my compost bins, they're a little disorderly at the moment, so need to see about kind of getting them organized for sure. Here's these. I may just take this whole tray out there with me because they're all going out. So these are what we're putting out there. These are dwarf sunflowers. They're definitely outgrown their habitat. They've got some, they've been basically getting fed and water here for a little bit. We're gonna put them on the side of the house today. It's gonna look pretty nice. I'll bring you guys over in a second. We're gonna put these guys basically in their own little spot, I think. Right here. Hey, what's up, house sparrow? Got this house sparrow that's been hanging out over on the side of my garden. So I got a side of my garden over here where, sorry about that. Hey guys, good to see you. We're doing some doing some dwarf sunflowers and a couple other little flowers we're gonna put on the side of my house here. Get that done today. But I got this house sparrow. They live over, they live in the trees that are on the south side of my property. And I bring this with me. You guys have already subscribed, hopefully, so you'll be looking at us saying, "Oh, we're already good, Ryan." But we're just gonna plant all these guys too. Got a whole bunch of different sets of them here. So I've got some more dwarf sunflowers. The two middle guys are trying to think of zucchini. They're gonna end up. I'll probably put them in. They're probably gonna do well. And then I've got some Johnny Jump Ups. Oh, what are these other ones here? Canterbells. Canterbells is what they call. So we're gonna put them over here. Be right back in a second to grab you guys. Kind of show you the deal. It's a little bit different what I got going on this side of the house versus the front of the house. And it requires a little bit of explanation. There's a master plan over here. It just takes until June for it to show up. I think we all know that. So I've got this. Wait on those. So I've got zinnias and some other, what are those other ones? Cleomes. I'm probably going to pop over here too. I just got to make sure my mom gets the ones she wants first. Okay, so they are her flowers after all. You can see here, we're going to come on down here. You guys can kind of hang out with me. I'm plotting this out. So what I got here along here is in this area, spot like right about here. There we go. There you go. So My wife got that for me. I thought that was super sweet. But anyways, so what we got along here is I have a ton of wildflowers that are growing here across this whole thing. So last year this whole thing was just beautiful with the purples and the blues, and we had some crimsons, all sorts of wildflowers. But in this case, I went through and I threw a whole nother pack, like another package of wildflower seeds down, because I really want a lot of wildflowers in here. However, in the interim, rather than looking at, a bunch of brown whatever here, I am going to get some. Here you. And by the way, I'm still, just like up front, hand picking out every little bit, last bit of the crabgrass that keeps making its way in here. But what I am doing is going through here and planting in some other, actually, you know what? I'm going to get, that's it. I get my hollyhocks too. One more. And one more set here. Almost forgot the hollyhocks. Almost forgot the hollyhocks. Oh my goodness. Now, for those of you that don't know, hollyhocks, these guys right here, they are a biennial. So they're going to grow up big and strong this year, really tall, and not make any flowers. But next year they're going to come back, big old tall blooms, big old tall multicolored blooms. That's what we're all about here. More color, the better. So this is really just going to be me kind of planting these where I can get them. These hollyhocks, I kind of want to put them together in an area. I should have done a little more thinking about where I want them, but like with the usual, we'll kind of figure it out as we go along. But I want the dwarf sunflowers. As you can see, these guys have been screaming to get planted for a little while now. I mean, they're like, Ryan, pretty please do something. I may put these guys right here just around the boxes, I think. Yeah, that's probably the answer now that I'm looking at it. Probably let's put these guys something like this. We'll come take a look at those in a minute. They're here. They can kind of just be in there before the rest of the stuff comes up, and just kind of have it spread, because this really is full of wildflowers. I mean, I had stuff up to here last year, and most of it, died back. I cut it back. We got a few along here that have, made the return. These kick out really nice purple flowers here. So, but yeah, and I got these other dwarf sunflowers. I might put some of them just in a little pile here too, see how they do. But these hollyhocks, I think I'm going to want to do something. I don't know. You guys ever grow these before, these hollyhocks? I know. I mean, I researched them and took a look, but read up on them. And I think they'll be okay here, but it's always one of those things. I'm never quite sure. I can always buy more. That's the other piece. Yeah, I might put them in like groups of. What do I got? I got 10 of these, so I can like do groups of 3 and 4, something like that. I think maybe that'll be the answer. I'll do like groups of 3s, but 4 like in the middle. Know what I mean? And if it ends up being too close, we can always move them. That's the other thing, folks. You notice one thing I'm not doing is really worrying about it too much. We don't like to worry on this channel. Worrying about flowers is not high on our list of things to do. Nothing we do. Got this here. Those will be there. Actually, move these over just a little bit more. And these guys are going to be surrounded by wildflowers, which is going to be nice. It's going to look pretty good. Just do one more. Oh, they've got some more crabgrass coming in here, so let's get rid of them. We'll just do these last 3 over here. Because why not, right? Because why not? I don't want to put too many perennials in front of my power there. That's obviously a problem waiting to happen. They get the roots down too far. But these annuals, like those in the dwarf sunflowers, that'll be all right. And then I think I'm just going to slap some these dwarf sunflowers. Drop these guys right here. Not gonna put the zucchini out here. I got a plan for the zucchini. And then, again, I'm not sure with these Johnny jump ups, the other ones, but we'll just try and drop them in here. So, all right, we made a decision. Nice work, everyone. All right, I'm gonna drop you guys down a little bit further. See if you guys can keep an eye on my work I'm doing here. There you go. All right, so this guy didn't make it. I do have this one here, I don't know if you can see, but this one comes back. It has pretty purple flowers that come off of this one. And then I've got, oh man, there's tons of them coming up now. This is great. There's gonna be all sorts of stuff coming up. I'm pretty excited. I say last year I just threw some stuff down just because I wanted some color inside the house, and the whole thing exploded. It was beautiful. So with that, you can find at your local like big box stores. I do recommend if you're looking for, you know, something that's perennial, something really not you don't have to think about. You can always find at your local box stores or your local nurseries. Typically at the box stores, they'll have bags of wildflowers for your area. Don't get them off of Amazon, because you never know if they're going to be for your area or not. You know, for your region. So I got Michigan specific wildflowers. Make sure that they were, you know, kind of what everybody is, you know, it's going to do well around here. Like that's the biggest piece. You want them to be, you know, to thrive wherever you drop them at, but also the wildflowers. So they're not going to have much work. So you see these guys are just at the point now where they're ready to go. These were the second biggest struggle I had this year, getting these hollyhocks going, right behind my petunias. And if you've ever done petunias before, I mean, I don't know how successful you've been, but man, I wanted to fight my petunias. It was not gonna be pretty. We were already saying words, but I was ready to fight them straight out. So again, see this guy here? Just getting to the point where I'm starting to get some roots coming around. So it's definitely time to get them in. And like I say, I talked to my guy at the nursery too. We both were talking about getting stuff in the ground, and we have it doesn't look like we're going to have any sort of frost worries. Let me just put this right. Yeah, we'll just put it right here. Just drop it right here. See how it does right next to each other. I have no idea if these spread or what they do. So it's going to be a little adventure with the old hollyhocks this year. I just thought they looked pretty. I wanted something high for the back, and then basically stuff to fill out in the front. So again, same thing here. They're looking pretty good. This is probably a little bit early on this guy, but you know, I'm not going to inspect every single one just to make sure that they're ready. They'll be good to go. There, a bit of trash. You know, I had my house built last year, so this is or 2 years ago. It was our second year in it. About a year and a half now, I guess. And we are at the point now where, you know, I'm finding all the stuff that they threw out in the yard. You know what I mean? Well, they were building a house, which that's going to happen. All right, so let's get this next set of them here. And just make sure, for all of you here as well, when you're doing this, make sure you keep, if you're buying stuff from the home store or the nursery or whatever, don't get in the habit of throwing out like anything. Keep everything. I mean, these are from last year, 2 years ago, as a matter of fact. So I just wanted to make sure I just keep reusing stuff. Hopefully you have space for it. Again, if you don't, I understand. I mean, not everybody has space. I don't have a huge property here, but I obviously have enough room to where I can put I have a greenhouse. You know, I do have a decent sized garden, so I know not everybody has similar conditions, but you know, just something to keep in mind. Try not to get rid of your stuff. And I was telling some folks too, you know, when I was growing up, we didn't use these. We just saved our cottage cheese containers. That was our thing. We just saved our cottage cheese containers, and that was what we used for our plants. All right. Now this side of the house, if you were watching the stream on Saturday when we were putting in the lilac bushes and the Mexican sunflowers, I had a lot of backfill issues. Not back issues. I got plenty of those. I'm backfill, like for the house. where it's all sand in certain areas. What's wild on this side of the house, there's like very little backfill. It's like they were able to push back in decent soil, and it doesn't have sand everywhere. So, I don't have the same problems that I do on the other side. It's just weird. So again, that's the other spot about, if you get a new property or you're learning how to operate in your property, that you learn the little quirks about them, right? So it's one of those little things just to keep in mind where we're at. All right, so you are there. And we got a good amount of rain over the last few days, which has been great. Get that out of there. Been great. And we're due some more tomorrow. But I'll give these guys a nice drink of water, obviously, after I get them in. Have them be happy there. And then, yeah. Well, anyways, hope everybody's has had a good day today. You can see I've chunk of cement. You know why? Because who knows? It's just here. Everybody had a good day today. We had a good weekend. Like I said, I was out in the sun way too much this weekend. This guy here looking in a good spot. So these are all definitely in the right spot. But yes, way too much sun this weekend. But after having a winter of no sun, it's it always seems to be about the extremes lately, unfortunately. But I'm not overly upset. I do not know what these are. They look like weeds. I'll take one out. Oh, well, there's a couple of them here. They just look like weeds. They probably are. Well, I promised myself no more pulling stuff out until I see flowers. Because I think some of these wildflowers, I don't know what they're actually going to look like. Okay. All right, so now, this is the other thing too. Why transplanting is so important. You see this here. So this dwarf sunflower, which it's only going to get about yay high, and then it'll put its bloom off, planted at the same time as these guys. This is why, I only planned on having 5. I didn't expect these guys to keep on kicking like they were. So they've earned a right to be in here. But that's the other thing, why making sure you have your stuff in the right container is so very important. And change your transplanting as quick as possible, because it does stunt their growth. I mean, these guys, again, I'm not worried about. Not like the end of the day, not like the end of the world, that these 3, just kind of are going to be up here. But when it comes to your vegetable plants and stuff like that, you absolutely want to make sure that you are increasing them. Again, if you have a greenhouse, you start them obviously in the small ones, and then you move them to where they need to, depending on how long it's going to be till you can get them in the ground. In this case here, I've moved most of my stuff up at least once, some of my stuff up twice. Oh, these guys are gonna be so sad. That's all right, we'll spur some good growth out of them there. But these guys have been living in basically water now for quite some time, so their roots are in bad shape. So we hopefully they'll take this in stride. Again, I did not expect them actually to make it this long, so this is a more victory for tenacity on them, overcoming adversity than my planning. Because what I wanted was just these other dwarf sunflowers to go in, but I was waiting for the temperature to be right. You see these guys here? All I'm doing is just kind of breaking up the roots at the bottom. They're pretty strong, so I think these guys will be okay. They haven't wilted at all ever. They've done really well in the greenhouse. So it's just I've been lazy about getting them bumped up in their planters. So that's bad on me. But get you out of there. What are you doing, bud? You go there. All right. So these are dwarf, what they're called, dwarf sunflowers. They're supposed to be really good for cut flowers, but also for containers. And again, I'm just trying them out to see what they come up looking like, what size they get to, so I can make some adjustments after that. So I don't know, we'll see. Oof, that sun is kicking today, boy. Oof. I got way too much sun yesterday, and today I'm getting a bit too much. But like I say, I only got a few things to do out here. Oh, anyways, for my next long form video that I'm gonna have out, I don't know if you see my video currently, the one I have out on where I'm solarizing my garden, which is right there, killing off my cover crop. If not, check it out. Be sure to subscribe. You can go and check it out. It's a fun video. And again, I showed basically the 2-day process that I use to make sure that it's as successful as it can be. But for my next one, I've got to organize my compost bins. I've got 4, and it's a bit of a mess back there. So I gotta get it organized. I mean, I have, ooh, hey there, Mr. Spider. Sorry, buddy. It's kind of messed up your whole day, didn't I? I know. Sorry about that. Anyways, I'm going to be organizing that in my next long form, basically showing, hey, here's what could happen if you're, not careful with your compost. But also I'm going to go over and show people my process for how I do my compost, because I've got my yard in here. Most of my green material in the this time of year is my grass. I mean, that's really all I have. And that's one of the reasons why I do compost, because I don't know if you can see, but they had the yard put in. It's pretty thick. So I get a lot of, a lot of clippings. So I want to make sure, so I can utilize those for, composting in the fall and everything else. So, but anyway, should walk everybody through my process, but also just show them how I do my cleanup, because I reorganize depending on time of year too, what my composts look like and where they're at. Because right now, the 2 of the bins plus a side piece is all basically brown waste from last year plus leaves. So it's tons of brown matter. And over the course of the next next few months, it's going to transition to less brown matter and more green matter. That requires, think of that through a little bit more about what that's going to look like. Okay, this last bit here is going to be getting these guys in. These are dwarf sunflowers. I can't remember the color they're going to be, but it looks like I will know here shortly. So we will keep an eye out for them. Let me help that little tree out of here. And again, so just keep in mind, like right here, this is the ugly side of my house. So I've got my power connections. These are annuals. They're not going to be spreading roots like anything crazy, and I'm not digging down deep. Know your property, know where everything's at. Make good decisions when it comes to that. Okay, guys. That's just the public service announcement for today. Just make sure that you're not doing anything too crazy. But I know this goes down. These are down 6 feet. They're trenched pretty far down, so I'm not too worried about that. And I know that because when the house being built, I've got to see them run every single bit of every line that's come into this joint. So I know where everything's at. Okay, let's get this next one here. We're gonna give these guys a nice drink though. You're definitely gonna need it. I can tell you that much. It is toasty out today. But these guys have been out in the greenhouse now for, since March. They've been, I think I planted these, or I first germinated these back end of March. Yeah, it had to have been end of March. Get them ready to be able to come out today. It's just the planning phase of it too. You just got to make sure you got a good idea what you're doing, what it's going to look like. Just be ready to adapt. Like saying, I was hoping they'd be getting out around this time, and lo and behold, we're here. These will do a little bit better in the colder weather, but they've already survived a couple, near freezes or below freezing in the greenhouse. These plants in particular had my heater, the power busted on it one time, or the power. Oh, come on, Ryan, use your words. Yeah, popped a breaker, so I wasn't able to maintain heat in my house or my greenhouse. So that happened. All right, so the last bit here, we're gonna go over, do our Johnny jump ups here, and these other ones. I'm gonna drop them right in between here, in between each of them. Just see kind of how this looks. Again, I have no idea what we're doing here. So if these spread or anything. So we are in pure, Ryan's just kind of figuring out as he goes phase. So cross your fingers and hope this works out. And I was saying, getting these to germinate, I mean, I would just tell you, I had no idea if I was doing it right or with these, because you're supposed to, on these in particular, these Johnny jump ups, they were saying just basically sow them and let them come up. But in where I'm at in Michigan, I just didn't want to necessarily leave that to chance per se. So we just had these guys germinate, and some made it, some didn't. I've got some extra seeds, so we'll see how they come up. And you know, over the course of the winter, you know, going into winter, I may just throw some more, just some more seeds down and just let nature do its thing for next year. Let them germinate, and because these are an annual or perennial, excuse me. So they will be back unless I don't like them, and you know, then we donate them to the compost bin. But I don't think that'd be the case. They're supposed to be pretty cute looking flowers, so I'm sure they spread or they've got seeds they'll be kicking off. So over the course of the next few seasons, I'll have a bunch of little Johnny jump ups jumping up. You know, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll just put some more right here. I think this is going to be my Johnny jump up section, just so I can see what they look like. This guy still has roots. Not looking too good though. Okay, we just can go live in his spot, and we're gonna come in and just hose the bejesus out of this in a second. That's an official term. Feel free to use that wherever you'd like. So, all right, let's get this guy in here. Hey, that's one thing I do like about plants. So once you get them in, they take care of themselves. They don't really need us much anymore, which is nice. Just need to make sure, keep an eye on them if they need water at any point or anything, you know. But beyond that, they know what to do. They were doing it long before. Oh, yeah, I think they were doing it long before we were around. So, at least that's the theory. And we just got to kind of stay out of their way. Okay, I got a little, not even sure what those are, but we're going to let them go. And then these are those bells. I think I'm going to just pop these over here. Let's see what these do. Right here. Here. I have no idea how these are going to turn out. We will cross our fingers. Hope these guys do okay. I think they will. And again, this is another annual that's going to should be returning every year. So we'll see how they do over here, and then we will make decisions for the following year and so on about what it's going to look like for them. Joy is setting up a new area. No idea what's going to happen. No idea what anything's going to do. You have a good idea, but you know, it's really, you're just kind of figuring it out. We'll leave that guy kind of like that. A little dirt over him. See what he does. Okay. Let's go right here. One more. Yeah, I'm definitely, like I say, I learned a lot this year in the greenhouse, what's going to work well for me, what isn't. So I'm definitely prepared for next year to have it be much more successful than it was this year on my germination schedule and everything else. Look there. Dump these back real quick. Taking my gloves off, folks. Be right back. All right. So next thing we got here is get some water on all these. Now, one thing for sure, back here a little bit. Oh, come here. Try to do all that. There we go. There you go. Everybody gets soaked here. So yeah, it's this weekend basically, you know, got the green light. We're getting stuff in the ground. Replacing it here. Come on here, Bubbles. Here, work your way out. Oh, my lettuce. I'll show you guys my lettuce here in a little bit. It's taken off. Lettuce and all my brassicas, they've been in the ground for a little bit, and they're, you know, that point when they catch their, basically when they get settled and they say, okay, it's time to grow. All of my basically my leafy greens are all at that point right now. So they've just taken off over the last few days, really, honestly. Yeah, it's good to see also all of these and all these wildflowers coming back and popping up. I said, that is beautiful what I had over here. So hoping to see the same thing kind of happening all over. Pretty much everywhere where I've got around my garden enclosure, I just put them everywhere. These guys just got transplanted and they're going to be getting a whole bunch of sun right now. So I just want to make sure that they get plenty of water to help them get settled in here as we're doing stuff. So these guys are all a little bit more established. They can take a little bit heavier beating. There we go. A little lighter here, a little lighter touch with my little sunflowers here. So tomorrow I've got a whole bunch of plants I've got to start on the seed starting. So that'll be tomorrow. I've got some bottle gourds I've got to start. I've got some, oh, what are they? Come on, Ryan, use your words. Some blue sunflowers that my neighbor got me. I'm going to give those a try. She wanted me to give them a try and see how they'd work. So I've got some blue sunflowers. Apparently I'm a sunflower guy. That's what's been determined because everybody keeps talking about my sunflowers. I didn't realize I was going to be a sunflower guy, but hey, that's what people want to know me. Well, if that's what makes them comfortable talking with me, cool. We'll do that. So I got those. I got some more peas I have to get down, more lettuce. My next round of lettuce is already up, has already germinated. So I'll be able to get those going. You know, those should be getting their first true leaves here in the next couple days. So that means I need to get my next set started. So that way, the redhead and I, we can have fresh lettuce all year, and basically all year round. Oh, I did order. So this is it. Pretty excited about this. I did order our sun tunnel. We have one room in our house, our laundry room area, that does not have a window, and it's really dark, like super dark, like all the dark. So I'm gonna put a sun tunnel in there. So that'll be something that I'll be able to do with everybody, kind of, you know, bring you along. I may do that as a long form. I don't know. I'm not a roofing specialist or anything, but I'll do a video with it and we'll see. We'll see if it's video worthy or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, I need all these guys to get established so I can come and put in some fresh mulch down. You know, it's the thing with all the wildflowers. I don't want to put in no more fresh mulch down until they all get established. That mulch will, you know, squash them, and it'll drown them out. That's not what we want. All right, is that there? All right, so since I'm here, might as well, got a buzzy boy, might as well water these guys too. Everybody right here. Let's bring you guys down a little bit. Might as well get these guys watered. We'll do it all the way down. Try to get you guys out of the way there. So there we go. So I got all these guys got to get watered too. I mean, they got plenty of rain over the last few days, but a little more water ain't gonna hurt them none, especially since they're getting started. So I got my peas in the back over there, and then this row right in here, I'm currently watering. Those are all radishes. I got some carrots that are kicking up over here, and the rest of this is just some greens, different types of lettuce, and then I've got Swiss chard. I've got kale, and then there's broccoli just before you get to the peas in the back over there. They're all coming up nicely. In the back over there, I've got to go through and where you see all the straw and everything kind of further in the back. There you go. Back over there. That area. Ugh, where my tomatoes are all going to go, but I got to broad fork that and then pull out roughly 400 million bits of crabgrass that decided to set up there. So it's interesting though. So like in this area here, right down here where the radishes were and everything, that's where my tomatoes were last year. And there I've got, you know, I didn't obviously get all my tomatoes up. I've got tomatoes germinating everywhere over here. It's nonstop tomatoes. So that's going to be a thing that's going to have to get taken care of. Unfortunately, because my tomatoes, they don't grow well over here. They don't get enough sun. They miss out on almost 2 hours worth of sun because my house blocks it first thing in the morning. Okay, there's that. Just gonna make our way back over to the greenhouse here. You can see I've got my these are my Brussels sprouts. I'm just letting them basically go to seed. Flower up there. We're still going to be chomping on the sunflower leaves as a side in the house for quite some time. They're pretty tasty. Just do them up like they're Brussels sprouts, but they're just leaves. And I said, now the germinate, all my pollinators, you know, they're getting lots of flowers in there to inspire them to remember to come here. You can see here the solarization of everything. You can see we're getting nice yuck colors going on in there. So that lets me know things are dying off, doing the things that's supposed to happen. So like every bit of that. All right, so now it's just time to water in the greenhouse. This got to get done. So I will, while I'm doing this, best I can. There we go, like that maybe. And we'll get to work. But here I've got some more Mexican sunflowers. I've got those are getting watered up right now. Those got to get in the ground this week. I'm gonna put them on this side of the house. I think that's the plan. I still got to come up with a plan for my split rail fence that I have. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that. Maybe not even get to it this year, to be honest. We will see. And then I've got what I'm watering right here are my yellow squash, my summer squash. Those guys are in a good spot. They'll be ready to go out here soon. My cucamelons are all coming up. That's going to be exciting. I'll have a little, video on those as well. That'll be pretty cool. They're basically a vine with little cucumbers about yay big. They look like little watermelons, but they taste like, but they're cucumbers, like gherkins. Little sour gherkins is really what they go by, but Hey, one thing, I'll be glad when my mom comes. I got to talk to her about getting her zinnias and cleomes, take what she needs, because I want to get these in the ground too. They're, they're at the point where, they don't need to be in these little trays anymore. They should be getting out and getting bigger. Just like, oh my goodness, these marigolds, they are not happy. Same thing, I got to talk to her about these marigolds, getting them in the ground. They're ready to go. Yeah, and this thing here, my zucchini, they're doing pretty good. They want to be out, but I can't get them done until I get the yard is finished or the garden's finished solarizing. So they're going to be in here for a bit. So they may get they actually might get repotted. Put them in larger ones just to make sure that they're continuing to grow at a decent pace. But I'm going to plant zucchini seeds right along with them as well, right next to them, and do a little comparison to see how quick they are to producing fruit. And if it turns out that just waiting until basically it's time to germinate them fresh where you sow them is the right way to make sure that and they produce faster, which I had read some stuff on that. It wasn't 100%. Then that's what I'll end up doing. Going out, but I needed to be able to test it. It's like with anything in life. I appreciate the fact that there's people have their opinions and on how things go, but I take their word, their advice, but I always try to test it too. What works for some people may not work for me. What works for me may not work for other people. You know what I mean? This is what it is. Just the way of life. But these, I'm glad I did get these tomatoes early because they're already starting. They're going to be fruiting here in no time, which would be great. Get some fresh tomatoes from the house. That's the best way to get them. All right. Well, cool. All right. Well, appreciate you all hanging out today that you did. It was good to see you all. Take care, and I will see you next time.